Hey, what's going on, humans? Hopefully you're having a good day. I know I am. And right now we will be taking a look at my top 15 favorite figures of 2021 for Transformers. So, yes, I do collect Transformers. I've been collecting them for a long time. Just for some reason, I never do reviews with them. Don't know why. But yeah, we're going to start this off with the honorable mentions who did not make the list, but were close. So, the Trax Road Rage mode. I do like the repaint of Trax into Road Rage. That was pretty fun. It's just that the leg transformation is a problem, and the issue I have with the car mode is just the fact that this thing is made mainly out of clear plastic, which for some reason Hasbro's been doing a lot of that this year, especially for the car mode, so it will pose a problem in the future. Just gotta be careful with it. So they were close to making this, but didn't. And then Origin Bumblebee here, which I thought was a really unique take on Bumblebee's first appearance in the G1 cartoon. Yeah, it just didn't make the list, but you know, I still think it's a decent figure. It is a solid transformation, I will say. And then Jeep Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie from Studio Series. This is actually a God tier mold, and I did not expect me to like this figure as much as I did. He is a little too loose in the legs on my copy, and it is better than the whole CYBERTRONIAN B127 mold, but yeah, they came close. So without further ado, these are the honorable mentions, and now we're going to get on to number 15 on the list. Alright, for number 15, here we have Kingdom Arc. This is the Titan class Kingdom Arc, and I gotta say, this is a really nice concept that translated really well into robot mode. You take a famous flagship as the Autobot Arc and gave it a robot mode, which we have not seen that in any type of media before up until the Netflix Kingdom season. So here I do have a little tiny Optimus Prime, Autobot mainframe that turns into a robot, and then we have the Arc in the background, which I did not think I was going to be able to fit this in my set. So overall, I thought this was a really, really nice Titan class figure. And you know, I thought it was pretty cool. This is a really good intro into the new Arc being a robot mode, which I do appreciate that. And you know, you get to transform him, and he actually transforms into a nice representation of the Arc. So that's one going down for the Bucks. Nice work on that one, Hasbro. That was number 15. Alright, next up we have Studio Series 86 Deluxe Jazz. This figure is perfect by all means. It's a perfect representation of Jazz from the original cartoon as well as the movie. And this is giving meaning to what I would say masterpiece on a budget. The only problem is that he does have that same issue as Trax, where they use clear plastic for the car mode, for a majority of the chunk of the car mode, which that will pose a problem in the future, God forbid. I know it's happened for some people, and for those of you who have not had that problem, hopefully you don't. But other than that, this is a really decent figure that I could highly recommend you could pick up. So yeah, this is Jazz, smooth and cool. And next up on here we have the spoiler pack. I think this is the second one from Transformers Siege. This is Nemesis Prime as he appeared in the Netflix Kingdom season. Now, he didn't really, at the time, he was just a repaint of the Siege Optimus Prime, which I never did pick up that mold, which I'm kind of glad they used it in this one, as I can get a difference of how that mold is compared to the Earthrise. But he did not show up until Kingdom, so at the time, this was during Earthrise's run. But I think that this is a solid repaint, and you know, it's my first Nemesis Prime figure. I like that he came with the trailer, and he did come with a bunch of other goodies inside, a bunch of other guns, swords, and this little guy who I forgot his name. But yeah, this is Nemesis Prime, and I think that he deserves this spot. But you know, he's a pretty cool figure for what it is. I like him very much. Coming in at number 12, here we have Studio Series Deluxe Class Jolt from Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, this figure caused a whole lot of controversy, despite only being in the movie for about a minute and 32 seconds, I believe. He did play an important role for that small amount of time he was in the film. But this robot mode, you know, it actually looks pretty good. We've had the Deluxe for such a long time. We're used to him looking a certain way, but this is how he truly looks. This is a definitive version. I actually really do like the transformation on this guy. It throws me back to the complexity of the earlier Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon original toys. So I think they did a really solid job with Jolt. I mean, I don't have my nitpicks with him, but you know, I think he turned out pretty good. I like how accurate the backpack is. Granted, this is supposed to be sticking out, but I understand that they had to leave this down for a more streamlined backpack look. But I do appreciate the way Jolt turned out, and yeah, I think he deserves a spot to be on the best of 2021. And next up, we have the Kingdom Voyager class Optimus Primal. Now, this year was actually my intro into the Beast Wars whole thing, you know, kind of with Kingdom coming out and Transformers Rise of the Beasts, now delayed a year, unfortunately. I decided to dip my toe into the, you know, the Beast Wars type stuff, and yeah, it became a whole rabbit hole. So I really do like the way this guy turned out. The Gorilla mode is amazing, and this is another example of masterpiece on a budget, pretty much. You know, this is a solid Hasbro figure that if you cannot buy the masterpiece version, I think this will be a really good substitute. And, you know, transformation's pretty smooth. The Gorilla mode looks great, and I think that, you know, Optimus Prime in a gorilla form is kind of funny, but this is a good figure. I will not sleep on this. Coming in at number 10, here we have Studio Series Starscrean from the Bumblebee movie. This one was actually quite a shocker to me of how much I like this figure. It's a heavy retool and remold of the Bumblebee Blitzwing design, and I really think they did a fantastic job as trying to incorporate the G1 aesthetic into the Nightverse. But having the Tetrajet form, I think it works perfectly with this, and it actually translated well. This is actually a really shockingly figure I didn't really think I would like that much. And then I think they made a thrust with a slight remold on the back. So, you know, I think Starscream looks freaking fantastic. You know, if we can get the rest of the Seekers in this mold, I would not be disappointed. But this is actually pretty freaking cool for the Bumblebee movie. I appreciate what they did with this figure. They did a nice job on this. Up next, we have Kingdom TIGATRON, and found this guy at like the last minute, and it was, you know, been waiting for him to show up in shelves, and then right before Christmas, Target started loading him up. Yeah, TIGATRON here is pretty much the last one I needed to finish up the Kingdom line. I'm really glad I picked him up. I really do think he improved on that cheater mode, which I thought was okay, but this made some different improvements. It's an upscale and a slight remold of that mold, but I think they did a really good job of translating how TIGATRON looked from Kingdom, Beast Wars, and going forward. And right here we have Dinobot SLUG from the Studio Series 86 line. Yeah, I had to keep him in this Triceratops mode because I think he looks better in this mode. He complements Grimlock really well. I like the solid of the transformation, how he transforms. It's actually pretty impressive what he does. I don't really care for the whole Daniel or Spike figure, whatever figure he came with. But I think that they did a fantastic job as far as making a nice Dinobot leader class figure to scale with the other figures that we've been getting in this line. Masterpiece on a budget. I keep saying that. But yeah, he deserves this spot because, you know, it's SLUG. Excuse me. And for number 7, here we have Shattered Glass Voyager class of Megatron. This is a Pulse exclusive, and I only picked it up because, you know, I've always wanted a Shattered Glass Megatron. You know, we've seen the purple Optimus Prime, Shattered Glass Optimus a dozen times. I think this is the first time we've actually gotten an official Shattered Glass Megatron. And it is just a simple repaint of the Siege Megatron, which I actually do love the color scheme of how he turned out with the white and the black and the heroic blue eyes, the red Decepticon logo, and he did come with a bunch of extra jet pieces, like he has like this shield thing right here, and then these translucent blue pieces. He does have that weird alt mode, which gives him like a flight mode, but he still transforms to tank, no problem. I just thought they did a nice job with this figure. It was pretty simple, and I regret not getting that Optimus and Ratchet 2-pack from Shattered Glass, so yeah. And at number 6 here we have Galvatron. This is Kingdom Leader Class Galvatron, and yeah, they did a really fantastic job at making Galvatron. He does have a little bit of his gripes on it, And you know, he does have that weathering effect on him, which doesn't really bother me. That can easily be rubbed off. And you know, if you did miss out on this guy, Legacy is doing a re-release of him without all the battle wear on him. So that's just a heads up in case you wanted to. I do like the transformation into his beautiful tank mode, or not really tank or cannon mode, however you want to call it. I also like the fact that he does come with the 2 ships that you can use for the HasLab Unicron, which I don't have, but they do make for good blasters and back pieces on them. So yeah, Kingdom GALVATRON, I highly recommend. And starting off with the top 5, here we have Kingdom Commander Class Rodimus Prime. Originally, when this guy was first announced, I was thinking Rodimus Prime in a Commander class. Well, granted, I knew he was going to come with the trailer. I was just kind of concerned that would it be worth the Commander price point, and I think it is. So he does come with his trailer that does transform into make the giant the giant cannon. It also has a bunch of compartments where you can store the weapons and the effects pieces. But for the figure itself, this is a really, really impressive Rodimus Prime design, and transformation is very intricate, not too difficult, but intricate enough to where, like I said, masterpiece on a budget. This is a really, really solid design of Rodimus Prime. It's a solid release. I love the design. I'm glad that they actually incorporate the Matrix in his chest. So I thought that was a nice touch. But this Rodimus Prime looks freaking amazing. And also with the Studio Series Hot Rod 86 version, I think that I would kind of put them around the same, since it kind of is the same person. But, you know, Kingdom Rodimus Prime. Nice work. And right now here we have Kingdom Huffer. And this little guy grew on me, you know. Huffer, tiny little truck, and he can incorporate Optimus' trailer in. But I really just do like the actual transformation and design of the guy. It's simple, it's a little sleek, and I do love this gun. Reminds me of the Spartan laser from Halo. But yeah, Huffer here, don't really have much to say on him, but I just like playing with him so much and transforming with him a lot, so it wasn't really shocking to me that I would put him in the top 5. At number 3, here we have AIRAZOR, and for a beast mode, AIRAZOR, it's a god tier design. It's a god tier transformation of what they were able to do with a bird, and how they were able to get the wings so angelic, and they put a lot of articulation into it, into the detailing of her feathers. And I really do love the beast. I really love the beast mode, like her turning into a bird. And like I said, it's an angelic wingspan. Her transformation is very simple, but at the same time it works for her, and it is a nice form that she has. And Hasbro did a really good job at incorporating what they did into this figure. This would have to be my favorite beast figure at the moment right now. Number 2, here we have Studio Series Dino from Dark of the Moon. Yeah, this guy took a long time to actually get a good, proper figure of this guy. I know they took the sideways mode from ROTF and gave him a new head scope, which of course that really wasn't accurate, and the wrist blades. This one, however, they don't have the licensing they don't have the Ferrari licensing, so they couldn't really make a 458 Italia, which I actually think they did a good job of making it, but at the same time not making it. But yeah, Dino here, the transformation is very, very sleek. It's a nice robot mode, and I think it translated well. This is actually pretty good, a cool looking figure. I think they did a really good job at making this guy, because I remember him perfectly from how he looked from the movie, but also the Dark of the Moon video game, which is a character I grew to love. So yeah, number 2, Dino Mirage. Now it's time for number 1. And now the top pick, the number 1 spot, the number 1 Transformer of 2021. I have to give it to the man himself, the Decepticon loyalist. Here he is. Kingdom Voyager class Cyclonus. I gotta say, not only did they nail the design from the G1 cartoon, the transformation. The fact that this man was able to transform into the jet the way he does, and literally have no kibble and really no kibble underneath the jet mode, and to transform into this is black magic. It's pretty much equivalent To Peru kill, third-party lockdown from Age of Extinction. Kingdom Cyclonus. I've been waiting for a really good definitive molding of this guy, and here he is. And they did a fantastic job with this dude. He is, it's hard for me to find flaws with this guy. It really is. I mean, well, maybe the knees, but other than that, that's it. I mean, he's just that freaking cool. But with that being said, that was everything. These are all the figures that have made the list. Top 15 of Transformers for 2021. Kind of curious to see what the Legacy line is going to go about. Some things I'm like, yeah, I got to see in person or see how they work. But other than that, that'll do it for this one. These were the top 15 Transformer figures of 2021. And you know, this is going up after New Year's, so Happy New Year's to all of you. Like I said before, let's kick 2022's ass.